Madrid losing to Sheriff.
Yeah, that's a good talk. Do you know the place Sheriff are from a country that doesn't exist apparently, or they're from a city that doesn't exist, like legally?
Yeah, they're like a breakaway state in Moldova.
Yeah, in Moldova. It must be tiny, like.
Yeah, is it like oil billions, or how are they funding this non-recognized by the EU state? Sheriff.
We'll talk about it, but do you know your man who scored is literally a part-time plumber?
No way.
Yeah.
So you're saying the Moldovan league actually is a farmers league?
I think it's a plumbers league.
All Twitter jokes aside, it's genuinely full of part-timers and plumbers. That's who fucking Militao and Champions League winner David Alaba couldn't keep out. Yakishabov Plumbing Limited.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense. But listen, I've been on that road before. Nonsense. Fucking nonsense. Why should we accept somebody talking nonsense? Like, what would you say? Just why are you talking nonsense about us? Why are you talking rubbish?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a No Nonsense podcast with Cathal and Will. Champions League back again, and we are right back on it. We didn't do an episode there at the start of the week. Well, what can I say? Look, Will's team loses, and we don't do a episode. And that's, I mean, look, I'm talking about the result. You all know, Atramitos lost again.
Yeah, and, once again.
Will just doesn't want to do the podcast that day. And I understand it. I mean, it's not the best thing, but look, we're bottom of that league, and we'll get that a little later on. But that's
I mean, it was a combo though. I was obviously distraught, and then I couldn't get in touch with you. I had seen some pictures throughout the week of you in various different Arsenal jerseys, and hanging out of balconies and stuff, celebrating, saying
yeah.
So that's it was a busy week for us, really.
Yeah, well, yeah, I was celebrating. Will was drowning in sorrows. Yeah. One for Atramitos and one for Arsenal. Yeah. No, my second team, Arsenal, obviously won. They're not in Champions League though this year. Will we don't need to focus on that Mickey Mouse competition, Champions League.
Yeah,
a team that does and needs to make up for their failures last year. Man City. Got off to a really good start the last game. Week, 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
And since then, it's been downhill for City.
Yeah. I
mean, that's when Pep made a plea to the fans to come and support their team that can't stop scoring, and they couldn't score against Southampton.
Yeah.
They beat Chelsea in a pivotal title race game, but maybe they used up all the energy because they went down 2-0 to the might of PSG. I mean, that PSG team, every time you look at that lineup, it's crazy.
It's the stuff of games. Like, it's the stuff, like, the things you do in a game of FIFA when you're bored with the game. You're like, I'll just fucking sign Messi. Fuck this.
Yeah. And like, it's crazy. I mean, Mbappe, Neymar, Messi. I mean, look, we obviously saw Messi, Neymar, and Suarez up front, which was pretty damn good. Yeah. And then they also had Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets in the middle.
Yeah.
I think they had Xavi as well at the same time. That 2015, the last time they won it, that was, ridiculous. But then also the back line, I think, had Mascherano that time.
Yeah.
They have Marquinhos and Kapembe, and then also Ramos on the bench.
Yeah.
And then Donnarumma in goal. I mean, who was it? Victor Valdez who was in goal?
Yeah.
Before them, like, I mean, not having a go at them. They're your Champions League winners, all the rest of it. But like, this team just goes on and on. Like, the strength and depth in.
Well, what I noticed, did you spot Donnarumma's number? He's like 50 something. I don't think that's like a thing he does usually, which I thought. So that is the squad they have, where he couldn't even get the number fucking 12 jersey.
Yeah, I don't know why he picked 50. Probably something. I don't know. But like, obviously, Keylor Navas is number one on the squad, and they didn't do a Man United and ask him, "Can you just have your number?" Because
come on.
What you mean, Well, he's better than you. You know, they just said, no, Donnarumma, you take another. You take 16, the traditional goalkeeper's goalie, or not 16. That's the fucking guy, but whatever. He took 50. But like I said, the bench then, Ronaldo came on. They have Mario Icardi. Remember him?
Yeah.
Remember Julian Draxler, also on the bench? Like, you know, like I said, Ramos didn't make the squad because he's not fit yet. Now, look, of all teams, City should be the most team prepared to deal with that.
Yeah.
They had a pretty decent team themselves. Grealish, Sterling, Mahrez up front. And then also they had whatever Jesus came on and Phil Foden came on. So not a bad team either, but they went down 2-0. But the real story is Lionel Messi gets off the mark for PSG. A classic Messi goal. Gets that ball, short little steps, 1-2 with somebody. Now, the only thing is, like, he wasn't like let go. Like, your man marked, I don't know who was tracking back. Like, he tried to stick with Messi and he just burst away from it. 34 years of age, just like burst away and then stuck it in the corner. I thought maybe the goalie could have done a bit better.
It was one of those, like you said, a classic Messi goal in that most regular humans could not do the 3 things he did in a row. They could do one of them. It was insane.
Yeah. He scored those goals for Barcelona, and it's like just that 1-2 play with him like, cutting in from the wing. It's unstoppable. But only because it's Messi. Anyone else tries that, it goes rosy every time, you know, or they scuff it, or you know, a crazy finish.
Yeah.
But and then Idrissa Gueye got the other goal. He got the first goal, I think. He got it after 8 minutes, and then instantly Man City on the back foot.
I think Idrissa Gueye got man of the match. He was savage in that game. He was like, I remember lots of people, it sounds bad, but people compare him to Kante, and lots of times you see like, is he really like Kante, or does he just play the same position and is also a similar appearance? But he literally was like fucking Kante running the pitch. He's amazing. Yeah.
Was it Rodri that started in the middle for them?
I think so, yeah.
For City. Like, when they played Chelsea, that was heralded as like, oh, this is how they should have beaten them in the Champions League. But yeah, like I say, that midfield, Herrera, Verratti, and Gay. I mean, honest players, Will. Honest players. You know you're going to get with those players. A lot of running, a lot of energy, you know, a lot of slide tackles.
Yeah. A lot of shouting and screaming at the ref, a lot of falling as well.
Yeah, a lot of high energy midfield. They definitely got the better of City. Yeah. But is this the year for PSG then? I mean, we said at the start of the year before seeing them play, it's always hard to guess, but like, they look good.
Yeah. I don't know, because it's the same thing as well of, it's so many people, like their squad is amazing, but it's, I mean, once you start mixing things up, after a while is when the egos start kicking in, like maybe a few months down the line, then say, I don't think he's the type of player, but say Wijnaldum is like, well, why am I starting? And then it kind of like it's a trickle down thing of, whereas early in the season, like now it's still pretty early, everyone's probably happy to be like, okay, I'll sit on the bench this week, no problem. But over time, maybe some little things mightn't go as smoothly, I think.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. And that's where it'll have to come down to Pochettino. You know, can he manage all the egos on the bench and players coming off the bench? Or, you know, like we all saw that picture of when Messi was taken off and the look he gave him of like, just like,
you're done.
Like he looked at him to say like, I don't know what you think you're doing here, but that was not the right decision. He just kind of gave him a shrug of like, hey, you do your job, man. I'm just saying that's not how I would have done it. Now obviously Messi is kind of a step above everybody. You know, even Neymar and Mbappe. Like Messi is just, well, you know, he has in terms of ego and not being taken off and back himself to score every game. That's one thing. But like I say, it's the Wijnaldums, it's the Icardis. Can they deal? Can he manage them? And like we're saying last episode about Klopp, you know, convince the players that like, no, this is a team thing. Like you have a role to play, and if it's not starting 90 minutes, it's just as important. You know, it's hard to convince players that, especially players who've played full games all their career up to this point. Yeah.
And I think you were saying there about Messi being a step above. I think a good example of that was, did you see him lying down behind the wall and see the reaction to it? Like he was that player. That was, Rio Ferdinand said if he was on the pitch, he would have pulled him up and lied down for him.
Yeah, I don't know if you said that. Like, I mean,
Come on.
like, that would make it even more awkward, Rio.
Yeah, that would be so much worse.
And then, Messi would be like, no, it's like, I'm 5'7", so I'm not.
Yeah, what am I going to do? Go on the wall? I'm not going to be able to defend the fucking free kick.
Yeah, he's like, no, you're too good, Messi. Please get up. It's like, Rio, I mean, it's a nice possible way. Fuck off. It's on the wall.
Yeah, you're like nearly 7 foot, Rio. What are you
Get
doing?
in the wall, you fucking freak. That's what you're good for. Let me score the goal. I'll lie down.
Yeah.
I mean, by lying down, you've almost guaranteed you're not going to get hit.
Yeah, and as well,
you know what I mean?
You're not going to get marked either on the counter. Who's going to lie down beside you?
So, like, if you're in the wall, like, you have, like, they are still going to try and kick it over you or around you. So you have to actually be tall enough and big enough to get to it. You're lying down on the ground. They're not going to kick at you.
I mean, unless you had a problem with Messi and you're like, I'm going to fucking rifle this off his head.
Yeah, unless you're actually trying to hurt Messi. It's the safest place to be in the wall, actually.
Yeah,
that's what people are missing here.
Yeah.
Unless, like, what if I hit him really hard in the kidneys?
That might take out their best player.
Yeah, so in Rio, I would lie down for him. It's like, well, you would be making a bad decision there. You've been trying to get yourself fucking Messi points, I guess, which is just weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, that reaction was crazy. And then, of course, like, those, like, Ronaldo and Messi people on Twitter, which...
Psychos.
Under anybody who goes on Twitter for any football post, not Man United, not Barcelona, not Messi, Ronaldo, Messi, Ronaldo. They're not bots. They're not bots. They are psychopaths out there who are hammering that word into their phone. Like, they type P into their phone and the other guy goes, do you mean Messi? Or did you mean Ronaldo?
Yeah.
Like, it's unbelievable. Sorry, I've been sidetracked. That really does. You want to lose faith in the human race faster. Yeah. Just go into Twitter under a football post and see someone running Messi.
Oh, yeah, under a picture of, like, Ronaldo scoring in the 98th minute and see the comments under it of being like, yeah, but what about, it's insane. They're the two best players. I get when people are abusing the shit players even. I kind of understand that. They're still psychos, but this is another level. I
think I saw, maybe it was Calvert-Lewin's own post of him scoring a goal and someone was better than Ronaldo. Like, who mentioned Ronaldo? Who mentioned Messi? And then, once that, like, they have a flag, then it like, they can smell someone typing Ronaldo.
Yeah.
And the Messi people come in. It's like, it's insane. It's actually insane. Yeah, what were we talking about? I don't even remember. Yeah, Messi for Barcelona.
We were talking about Messi in the wall. That's who would have hit the ball at Messi. One of the Ronaldo boys. If there's a secret Ronaldo football player, he would have rifled that ball at Messi's head.
I did. That's what I saw. It was that picture of Ronaldo last year in the wall, turned his arse to it. Him and Morata, like, oh, Jesus Christ, give it at me. Yeah. It's like, I wonder how long they were saving this picture in their phone for when Messi was involved in a free kick. Yeah. That was last year.
I mean, if we didn't talk about that in the podcast, there was no way I would have remembered that. I specifically remember him diving out of the way.
But this is the level of these radical Messi and Ronaldo fans on Twitter. Like, they have these saved and filed on their phone under Ronaldo free kick / embarrassing
coward
/ coward. And then, waiting for a Messi thing so they can post that. It's insane. It's insane. Yeah. But yeah, that is it's something I didn't even realize that is a very strong group. Is that to do with the coefficient or something?
No, I think the group is usually like just random because it goes by seeded from the like who's won the league and that. Because don't City usually get the awful group, like the easy group, and this is like the first year they're really up at it. Because they usually get Shakhtar.
I don't know every group ever, but because
I think City nearly always get like Shakhtar or.
I remember they got beaten a few times by Napoli in the group.
Yeah,
Napoli, back when Cavani was banging goals for Napoli, I remember City got drew on against them a couple of times during the Aguero Tevez early on, and it was this kind of thing of like, oh, they're trying to put City in bad groups because they don't feel they deserve it or whatever. Like one of these conspiracies, like the fucking Penandes with the penalty on purpose to get Ollie sacked conspiracy. One of those type levels of you're insane. I think that I'd have to look back on the last whatever since 2009 when they started qualifying for Champions Leagues, but I just remember PSG didn't win the league last year, did they?
No, they did not.
That's why they're in the group with them. I was like, but they both won the league. They didn't, of course. Lille. How could I forget Lille? Will?
Yeah, who I think are like way down in the league this year. I think their fun is over.
Well, they lost the keeper Maigon to AC Milan to replace Donnarumma. I don't think they lost Sanchez. Ronaldo Sanchez. He's still there, isn't he?
He was linked with Liverpool a lot, but he never went. Never
moved. Burak Yilmaz, anybody watching Turkey in the World Cup knows that he's actually not that good at all.
Yeah, a one-season wonder.
Jose Fonte is probably the same age as Ronaldo, which in football terms is usually really old. So, I think maybe just be tough for them to go back to back. I don't know, maybe they've lost more players as well.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and then Leipzig also in that group. They mustn't have come second either. They must have come third or fourth last year in the Bundesliga, did they?
Yeah, and then they got raided by Bayern and everyone. So,
well, they were appropriately bad for the group. But if it was their team last year, it would have been a very, very strong group.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not the Leipzig of yesteryear, as I say. By yesteryear, I mean last year. I mean like 6 months ago.
I think they're only 10 or years old as a club or something like that. I think
they literally were started in 2009 because it's Red Bull Leipzig.
Yeah.
And who's the other team in that group then? Who did Leipzig play last night, I wonder?
Let's see.
Or did they play Tuesday or Wednesday night?
Not sure.
Oh, it's Lille. No, wait. No, that's Salzburg. So that's RB Salzburg. Sorry, another Red Bull team. Sorry,
the Red Bull Derby. Is that the first ever, I wonder?
Oh, Red Bull Derby be savage. That could happen, Juve actually beat Chelsea 1-0 as well. I don't know if you caught that one. Chelsea, back up place for them.
Yeah, a very quick unraveling for them, but they're against two massive teams in Juve and City, so it's hard to tell how much that actually does matter in the grand scheme of things, because you can afford to lose to the massive teams as long as you pump everyone you're better than.
Yeah. And Chelsea had a good team out, and the main, I think, positive for us anyways from that Chelsea-Juve game is that it wasn't Timo Werner's fault. He didn't play.
Yeah. Phew.
Yeah. Chelsea had 74% possession and lost 1-0.
That's in 74 is crazy.
Yeah. So it wasn't, if you look at the stats, think, oh, I know what happened there. Timo Werner's playing and he missed 3 clear-cut chances. Not this time.
Not this time, folks.
Not this time, folks. It was their other their players like Penkaku and Palonzo. These penalty merchants at Chelsea who couldn't score from play. Penn Chilwell. How about that one?
Who I think he's took 1 penalty this season and
missed.
Penn Chilwell is good. You should get on Twitter more.
Penn Chilwell. Yeah, that's how we bring in the likes. Sal Niguez, and again an unused substitute. That was a weird signing for them, wasn't it?
Yeah, one that it seems like really. It doesn't seem like anyone gives a shit about. Doesn't seem like Chelsea seem to give too much of a shit about it. It just kind of happened for the sake of it. I mean, did they even need him at all?
Well, when they bring on Ross Barkley instead, it's like, well, I mean, I know it's not like you do kind of think of like the manager as the guy who runs the club because of Ferguson and Wenger for years. That's how they used to do it. But like, that was more of probably a Chelsea signing, I'd say. Like 26, good age, European experience. He'll see us for the next 3 or 4 years, good investments.
Yeah,
he gets him. Tuchel says, I don't like the cut of your jib.
Yeah.
I like Ross Barkley's jib a lot better.
Ross Barkley's got a fine jib.
Yeah, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, that's a jib you can set your watch to. Yeah. Sal Niguez, not feeling your jib at all. Like they both came on against Juve when they're losing, and Sal Niguez doesn't play, and it's like, All right, and Sound was talking a big game. He was burning his bridges with Atletico Madrid, saying, "I can't wait to finally show what I can do and not be constrained to a system where And the teacher's like, I got a bit of a system man myself.
Yeah, I heard what you said about systems, and I didn't care for it.
God knows, it tends to happen a lot. Mainly at Chelsea, where like a player's bought in. It's like, wow, this guy's a really good signing, and he doesn't play, and it comes out afterwards. I remember hearing a story about Gary Cahill when he signed, and someone asked him. You see, they signed him in January, and they asked him like 2 months into his Chelsea career, what's it like working with AVB or whatever it was? Because I haven't spoke to him actually. I think I've seen him once.
That's insane.
Like AVB obviously didn't buy him. That was like, Gary Cahill, good age. And he was a good player for them for like years, a solid kind of squad player and a good player as well. AVB didn't fancy him. But AVB was long gone by the time Gary Cahill finished his Chelsea career. You know what I mean? So maybe that's the fate of Saul Niguez.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I say, a mini crisis for Chelsea. Lost to City, lost to Juve. Not exactly.
Yeah, it's a pretty good crisis to have. Teams. Yeah.
But I guess when you're European champions, which I've heard so much recently, every time Chelsea play, they're the European champions. That's the kind of level you expect. You expect to beat everybody.
Yeah.
So a mini blip for them, but I think they'll be fine. I think they'll be all right. And Juve need that win as well. They're going pretty bad in Serie A, so.
Yeah, I think are they still in 10th or way down there?
Yeah, they're struggling to find form for sure. The other big Premier League team that people might care about, Man United versus Villarreal, 2-1. Revenge, Will. A dish best served in September in the group stages. That's what they say.
I got my wish because remember I did a lot of talking about the arc, and it's like it's kind of not really feeling it at the start. Now we're losing left and right, and it feels like coming up to that last kick of the game, I was like, Ollie's going to get sacked. Then they scored. It's like, this is what I'm talking about. It's the bit of entertainment that was missing at the start when we were just winning games. I don't really care about that. I like the sense of dread.
That was the first time I thought this could actually be the end for Ollie.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Not the first or second bad result in a row. This is like bad. Yeah. Like they're not going well here at all. And then Cristiano Ronaldo pops up at the end.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen a crack papered over so thinly because they were awful in that game. They were so bad. For like it feels like the fourth or fifth game in a row, they've been proper shit. And it was looking like this is fucked. And then you kind of knew though, like Ronaldo's on the pitch, he doesn't need too many chances really. Like, I did see one amazing clip from it. I don't know if you saw. So when Lingard got subbed on with Cavani, I think it shows them coming up, and you can see the dugout behind them, and you can see Donny van de Beek losing his mind and not being subbed on. He's like throwing his arms up. People are trying to get him to calm down, like arms on his shoulder. He's like shaking his head. He takes his chewing gum out of his mouth and throws it in the direction of Ollie.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy fuck, I didn't see that now.
Yeah, it was. I've never really seen that, and I wonder, is that something now where you're probably not going to see too much of Van de Beek from now on? Even less, because they're like, surely the management team will see that and be like, what was this going on behind us?
It has to be addressed, but because there was a 90 plus 5 minute winner from Ronaldo, no one's going to talk about it, except for the people you don't want to talk about it. When they handle that matter internally, they're trying to make a big performance of like, oh, look at me not getting on, and then you win the game. Now you're just in trouble. And
there's a picture of like Van de Beek celebrating after the last minute winner, where he's like running onto the pitch and screaming and stuff. But it does look like, after watching that video, there's a hint of, it looks like he's running to knock out Ollie. Like he's screaming and his like hands are clenched. So maybe he was like, a little bit was like celebrating, but then there was just a flash in his mind of, maybe now is my chance.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'd say he could be gone by January then.
Because I mean, like, now Lingard is back and has taken his spot as, you come on for the last 20 minutes, try do something. And Lingard's actually doing stuff. Like Lingard got the assist last night. He nearly scored as well. A few games ago, he scored after being subbed on. So like, you don't really
Got the goal against West Ham.
Yeah, got the goal.
Yes.
So you don't really need Van de Beek anymore as that depth, like the other creative player to bring on.
Well, this is the thing. It's like Van de Beek had been good when he came on. Like if Lingard had not come on, I was like, listen, I'm coming on scoring and getting assists. Like I could see his point. Van de Beek has not been good.
No,
when he's played, when he started, when he's come on. So it's like, I get you haven't had a lot of chances, but like
you've had some chances.
Well, you just haven't been that good. So it's just one of those things. I think we don't know why he was signed again. It was that Ed Woodward, and then Ollie said, "Oh, well, I don't want him." You know?
Yeah, because like
I don't know.
I think they wanted Grealish, and then Villa stayed up, and they're like, "Ah, fuck, sign whoever."
Oh yeah.
They're like, just sign whoever. Who cares? So
that
was one that seemed like it was a signing that they were like, just in case lots of people get injured, we probably need another body around.
Yeah, I'd say end the road for Van de Beek sooner rather than later. I think Phil Jones will probably outlast Donny Van de Beek.
I don't know if you saw the articles about Phil Jones. The reason he got the contract extension, which was a very weird thing when United did it. Apparently United gave him a contract extension because his injury is so bad that he wouldn't have been able to get it sorted without the club's help. Like if he was let go from his contract and he was on his own. It was such a complicated knee injury that they had to bring in people to help him. So they're like, fuck, we'll keep you on the books, even though you're not going to play a game, just to try and get you healthy again, which is a very nice thing to do, it seems.
Fuck, yeah. That's surprising, yeah.
Because apparently
I didn't see it now.
He had like 2 of the worst knee injuries you can have in the same knee.
Fuck.
He had them both.
Yeah, no, he has been unlucky with injuries, for sure. I remember that first season he came, he was pretty decent.
Yeah.
You know? But, yeah, like you say, cracks being papered over.
Yeah.
Ronaldo scoring at the end, it's like, 2-1 win against, all credit to the Europa League champions. Like people always say, like, oh, well, if this was Pep or this was Tuchel, like, you wouldn't be saying after every game in or out. It's like, well, they don't fucking barely scrape by, mediocre opposition. So I mean, it feels like, you can't sack them after a win, but like saw the performance, and have seen the last few performances. Like it's still just because they got the win in the end because of a generational player like Ronaldo.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean that you're still fit to manage the club. It doesn't mean that was a good day for you.
Yeah, I wonder, is this the usual roller coaster of we're going to win 15 games in a row now off the back of some crazy individual performances, and then back to losing, and then he's just about to be sacked, and then back up again, just in time to fail at a final somewhere. The usual. It feels like it's the beginning of the next cycle again.
I think they have a bad run of fixtures coming up, though.
Very hard, but that's always the case. Those are the games he always wins. Those are the ones where you're like, this is the one, he's fucked now. And then he wins, and then they lose to Burnley or something.
I mean, they have Everton, which they could win. I could see them winning that. I could see them losing that, though, too.
Yeah, same.
Leicester, equally, up in the air.
Yeah.
It could be 3-0 either way.
Yeah.
Literally. Atalanta.
That'll be tough, I think.
The wing-backs of Gossens and the Danish guy. The good wing-back combination that no one can stop.
And still no Wan-Bissaka for that game. His ban is extended. They were playing with Dalot last night. And he showed every bit of why they were desperately trying to get rid of him for all summer. He was shot.
Dalot and Telles.
And Telles.
They're two fullbacks. The ensemble combination of them.
Telles scored a fucking screamer, though, but defending, he's not really up to it.
And then Liverpool after that. So, I mean, this thing, you could lose all those 3 games and have to play Liverpool.
Yeah.
And if you lose that, then it's curtains.
Yeah. I mean, that's what they did with Jose. All the talk was they're not going to sack him until the end of the season. They're not going to sack him until they don't get forward. But then he got hammered in Old Trafford. I think it was like 3-0 by Liverpool. And he was gone that evening. Like, they really don't take well to that one if it happens. Like, they don't like to be embarrassed by them.
Like, this thing, though, he could win the 3. He could beat Everton, beat City, beat Leicester City, beat Atalanta, and then you lose to a better Liverpool side, and people say, well, look, that's a well-oiled machine. Then there's always a saviour. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I think he would have to lose the next 4 in a row.
That's so many games in a row to lose.
Yeah, that's never going to happen. No. He's never going to lose 4 in a row.
He's there for life. He's going to be there forever. It seems like he keeps getting away with it.
Oh, I don't know. But yeah, well, that's not a bad group. Atlanta, Villarreal, and
Young Boys.
who's the other ones?
Young Boys.
Young Boys. Yeah, I mean it's a group that they'll probably get out of. You'd imagine. But they're just not playing well.
Yeah, but
that's
like
all it is.
once they get out, if they get out of that group, I don't see them going far. I don't see them getting by the first game in the knockouts. Like,
no, probably not.
Yeah.
But will Ollie be there by then?
Yeah.
Like I always say this. Like it's as important as getting a bad manager out. Like who is going to come in for him?
Yeah. And as well,
who is available? Who wants this?
Like it's. I'd imagine the two are Conte and Zidane. And Conte is going to be completely different again. It's going to be you're getting rid of the players you just brought in because it doesn't suit him, which never works. It's never worked for United over the last few years. And I don't think Zidane really gives a shit about managing that much unless it's Real Madrid or probably France. I don't think.
Yeah.
Like he has no ties to United. He's not going to give a fuck about them. I don't think.
I don't know. I do feel the Conte one. He didn't take on Tottenham or Arsenal because he didn't think the team was there and it was too late in the season. Whereas it is a good United team. That's why we're saying that like they could be wasting a chance. Like if Ronaldo saved them the games, imagine they had an actual plan before they went out.
Yeah.
How many goals he score. So maybe Conte might look at that and go, yeah, there's a solid defence there. You got Varane, Maguire. It's not too bad. Zidane, say, it's hard to know where his motivation is.
He's so mysterious.
Really. He's so mysterious. Yeah. So maybe him. I do feel Conte, he has, he did so well in Inter and everyone understands. It's like, oh, well, he couldn't stay on there. But the longer you're out, it just kind of says, like, oh, well, there was the Tottenham job, there was the United job. He didn't take those jobs. It's like, eventually people kind of go, oh, well, why isn't he taking the jobs? Rather than they forget about the Inter stuff. Like football moves so fast.
Yeah,
people forget about your last game so quickly. So maybe this might be the one he takes if the opportunity came about. If they went to Conte. And
I do think he'd do very well at United, but it would definitely be he won't be there for long. He'd be there a year or two tops, and then it's back to like, well, what the fuck do we do next now? And then it's probably back to the cycle of like who's available right now. And changing it every few years, and it's back to what they were doing. Like
that's most clubs, though. Will
I know? Yeah, it's
like they used to have a thing where when Wenger and Ferguson retired, it's like David Moyes is the longest-serving manager of 3 years. And they just don't do that anymore because there's nobody long-serving. Like everyone's forgot about Ferguson and Wenger being there for decades because no one does that anymore. Like Bayern and Real Madrid and Barcelona, they change the managers. They get new players in. They just keep the party going.
Yeah,
spend. Almost like some kind of unsustainable bubble, but that'll never happen. So I don't know. I mean, that probably will be the future. Unfortunately for United, I mean, it would be great to have a manager, and that's why I think why they're holding on to Ollie because that if he was just good, he'd stay there forever.
Oh yeah,
if he's just a little bit better, they could keep him forever and be great. Like, and you wouldn't fall into the trap of everyone else. But
for every problem he has, and there are many, I have never, I think, wanted a United manager to win anything so much, even a shitty League Cup, a Charity Shield, anything. It just never happens, and it doesn't look any better year on year.
Yeah. Like even you might say what will City do when Pep leaves, and he will leave because he's not from Manchester. He probably wants to go back to Spain eventually to either retire, coach the national team, whatever it is.
Yeah, and now he's being wronged by the fans as well. So
it's just one of those things. Like it will happen. I think that's just what every club, bar United, and like even Bayern, change the manager every couple of years. As dumb as they are, it's like. Managers don't want to stay there forever. They want to do the national team. They want to do PSG, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I think if Conte was available, you'd go for him and say, look, if he wins the league for the first time in 2013, better than a manager who stays there forever and wins nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, like say a team that changes their manager a lot and spends and overextends themselves. Barcelona also were playing on Wednesday night Champions League. Lost to Benfica 3-0. Convincingly lost. Eric Garcia sent off towards the end. Crisis club, in turmoil club. I mean, they're really
weirdly. We called this in like February or January. We jokingly said Is this the end of Barcelona?
Yeah. Is this? I don't know. I mean, the thing is, like, it's not that bad a team.
No.
Do you know what I mean? They go, like, obviously from the teams that they had before, and, Depay versus Messi, even at 34, not really fair comparison.
Yeah.
But, like, it's still Memphis Depay.
Yeah.
Frankie de Jong, Gerard Piqué, Busquets,
even
Sergio Roberto.
Ter Stegen in goal is unbelievable as well.
To be losing 3-0 to Benfica.
Yeah.
No offense to Benfica, but, like, they don't have the same players. I mean, young Mario, who came on as a sub against us for Portugal. Jan Vertonghen, like, he was at Spurs and then he wasn't good enough for them anymore, so he goes to Benfica.
Yeah.
Like, not having a goal, but that's just what happened. Otamendi, not good for City, he's at Benfica.
Yeah.
They didn't go to PSG. They didn't go to Real Madrid or go across town to Man United. They went to a lower league and lower level. And, like, it's just, when it comes to that, you have to say, well, it must be down to, the manager.
Yeah.
It must be down to Koeman here. If they have players like Coutinho coming on and they're still losing 6 little Ansu Fati's just back as well, obviously. But, like, I don't know what you do there. I mean, this is the thing as well. If you're not taking the United job because it's too late in the season, who's taking the Barcelona job? They have no money.
Yeah. And as well, that's an impossible job. That's so much you have to fit, because your standards are going to be so high when you come in. Because it's still Barcelona. They're not at the point where, like, United were when Ollie came in. It was like, we'll see how he does. Who really cares anymore? It can't get any worse. It can still get much worse for Barca, I think.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, those players can still have to retire. Piqué and Busquets won't actually go on forever. Like, this should be the transitional period where they kind of, playing some games and some else coming in for them. They're still playing till, like, the full games and losing. And there's no signs of, like, green shoots or anything.
Do you think cutting their wages probably had an effect on them?
Can't be good for morale, can it?
Yeah.
I mean, I know they're already rich, but still.
Surely, if you're getting paid your full wages, you love Barcelona so much. When you go a goal down to Benfica, you go, all right, I'm not having this. When you go 2 goals down while on a wage cut, you're going to be like, oh, fuck this. They're not even paying me.
I don't know. It can't be good.
Yeah.
It can't be good in that Barcelona dressing room. But, like you say, who's taking that job? Who's taking on that job now?
That is, surely it'll be one of the old guard, like Xavi's linked with it and stuff. I mean, it's not.
That's career suicide for Xavi.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
it's always tough to go back to a former team and be manager, because there's always the risk that you're just not as good a manager as you were a player.
Yeah,
and people will judge you on how good a player you were.
Yeah, Yeah, like Lampard and that got it bad.
Lampard, yeah, exactly. So it's like, well, he's not as good a manager as he was a player.
Yeah.
But you're always kind of thinking of the glory days of when Xavi played, and he'll make the team play like him. And it's hard to do.
Yeah.
And, like, the way the Barcelona have always done it, like, you think back to when they signed Ronaldinho, who was, one of the best players in the world at the time from PSG. Like, that was after the 2002 World Cup. Like, he was a huge star then.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, they had Iniesta and Xavi and that coming through, but, like, it's always been about big money signs for Barcelona.
Yeah.
Henry, Eto'o,
Ronaldinho.
But we have Ronaldinho just said, like it's the two. It's like big money signings, and then from La Masia as well.
Yeah.
But, like, they have the La Masia, they have the. I don't think Pedri was La Masia, but I think Ansu Fati was.
Yeah.
But, like, you need a big signing, and there's this summer they brought in Memphis Depay.
They brought in who's free
on freeze. Like, this is the summer. Usually, normal things going the way they go. Deco was another one they bought. Remember how good Deco was at Porto? He went to Barcelona. Like, he wasn't a La Masia product. He was some other team's best player.
Yeah.
And
as well, the summer they had to resort to getting free people in was also the summer they had to get rid of Messi, which, like, if ever there was a summer you need to buy fucking 10 superstars.
Yeah, like, this was a summer where they, in times gone by, they would have got Mbappe.
Yeah, 100%.
And then it would have been Mbappe and Dest and Ansu Fati linking up, and we'd be like, oh wow, we know La Masia at its best, it's like, and Kylian Mbappe, they signed for eye-watering sub.
Yeah.
And like that, look, that's not a slight on Barcelona. United have done the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like produce players, but also big money signings and signing other teams' best players.
Yeah.
But if you're a manager and you think, well, we can't do one of those things, and that's kind of the formula, then, how am I going to improve this team?
Yeah, because you can't force a youth product to just instantly. Like, I'm sure there's savage 15-year-olds there who they've invested lots of time and money into, but if they're not ready, they're not ready. So there's only so much you can do.
To play well in a team with a superstar up front who knows exactly what to do. It can, what they keep saying about for Greenwood. Like, this would be perfect for Greenwood. And it is. Like, that's the ideal scenario where you have a Ronaldo and Cavani who've been there and done it. Mm-hmm. And then you have a younger player who the pressure's not on them to score, but they can still ease the way in. Like, you can't, if you just Greenwood up front on his own,
he'd be gone. He'd be
a lot harder.
Yeah, 100%.
And then it wouldn't be that Greenwood is any worse than he is, but it'd just be, you wouldn't see the best from him. So, I mean,
I think that's something Rashford suffered from a lot. People really don't rate him at all because he was the main man when he wasn't really ready to be. Yeah,
there wasn't anybody else. So, I mean, that is the best way to do it. But if you look at that Barcelona team now, you're thinking, I mean, Luke de Jong, do you remember him from Newcastle? Like, he used to play up front for Newcastle United, and not, when they were good, like in the past 5-6 years.
The Newcastle,
I can't believe he's at Barcelona.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, again, fair play to Benfica. Wasn't that they didn't have to go out and win that game, but still, you'd wonder where it all ends up for Barcelona.
Yeah. Yeah, surely they have a new manager soon. Anyone.
Yeah.
The only thing left to talk about is, unfortunately, a tough bandwagon wheel.
Oh. Yeah. No. It's not. I wouldn't call it a curse per se. It's just,
not exactly a curse.
I don't believe in curses, as a general rule.
But
sometimes when the evidence starts to stack up, it's hard to differ. Atromitos, after a very encouraging draw against top spot Olympiacos, who've won every game since, we have lost every game since. Yeah. So maybe there's like a Monsters type talent switch at the end of that game. Maybe
that's a good.
I don't know.
I wouldn't rule it out.
Because, like I say, we're dead bottom, rock bottom here.
Yep.
I'm looking at the table. We have better goal difference than Apollon, Semini, yet we're bottom. So maybe there's some kind of rule. But look, we have egg in our face after our, defiance in the TV deal that pushed the league back, and now we sit with our tail between our legs at the bottom of the table. It's pretty embarrassing for us, Will.
It's us behind the homeless now. The homeless we mocked so much coming into the league.
Yeah, I do think we're one of the few teams who were supposedly in favour of the TV deal that are actually at the bottom.
So now, does that mean there's a TV deal that we fought for now broadcasting us getting beaten every week?
I think so. I think a TV deal that suits us financially is now broadcasting our failure to the entire islands of Greece. Yeah, I don't know exactly who watches the Greek league apart from us and the Greek people. Cyprus maybe. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough going. Who do we lose to this week, Will?
We lost to Aris.
Up the Aris. They shoved 3 goals up our Aris.
Yep.
And we lost 3-1. They got off to a good start. After 10 minutes, Daniel Mancini, no relation of Roberto, I'm pretty sure.
Pretty sure. It could be.
Pretty sure. And then once again, we have a knack of scoring just before half time, 45 plus 3.
Yeah.
Changed
their team talk, yeah.
And I guess their team talk at half time was kill them for that.
Yeah. Make sure they pay for that goal.
But you know what it is? I think our heads dropped because we gave away a penalty on 60 minutes.
Yeah.
Bruno Gamma, which is a very cool name.
Very cool.
He scored a penalty on 60 minutes. We gave away a penalty, and 65 minutes then, 5 minutes later, Matteo Garcia got another one, 3-1, put the game out of reach.
Yep.
Like, we had 60% possession that game, Will. We just lost the heads there.
It's tough out there because we don't have a star breaking through yet, a player that's caught our eye, really.
Only scored 2 goals.
Yeah.
So, we're how many games in now? 4 games in, 2 goals, 8 against. Yeah, not good.
Do you think when news inevitably reached Atromitos that we had chosen them from the bandwagon wheel, that they were like, oh, fuck, we saw what happened before with Turkey and Göztepe is going to be bad?
I don't know. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But I think you got to lay this at the manager's door.
Yeah.
What's his name?
This is
Parashas.
Did we get a new manager? I
think. Say what?
I think we got a new manager.
Georgios Parashas.
We definitely.
He was a Spanish guy. Sorry.
Yeah, we had like a Lopez or something managing us, I thought.
Oh, hang on.
Well, no wonder.
Check this out. Oh no.
Turmoil at Atromitos.
What the fuck? Georgios Parashas.
Like, there is no mention of who the last manager was.
I'm frantically searching here.
Yeah, 2021.
Yeah, the manager was sacked. It was Lopez.
When did Lopez get sacked? Did he get sacked off the back of this last game?
Miguel Angel Lopez Perez
is this
the Spanish football coach.
Are we breaking this news?
Definitely not. He's now the manager of Volos FC. What the fuck?
We're playing them next.
What?
Oh no, we played them last. They beat us last week. Was he managing them?
Oh wait, I'm reading it. That's their manager.
Okay. I thought there was some kind of wrestling turn where he is like, I'm actually managing them.
No, that is us. Is it?
Volos. Who was our last manager? It was a Lopez, I'm nearly sure.
Okay, this is getting weird now. They're both manager of Volos. Guil Abascal is the Spanish guy. He's Volos manager. But then also, so is the other guy. So is Lopez.
They're a tag team.
It was definitely Lopez. It was definitely
100% Lopez, yeah. Oh, good.
Lopez is also manager of Volos FC. What's going on? Oh, here.
Okay, I've got Angel Lopez Perez's Wikipedia up here.
Miguel Angel Lopez Perez.
The last thing it says was in May he moved to Atromitos. And then there's no mention after that. But he's not our manager now.
Yeah, on Wikipedia, 2021, he was at Volos last year for a year, and then he's at Atromitos. But then who's this other guy? Who's this new guy? Oh, I'm very confused.
Wow, did you see Georgios Parashas? Did you click the manager? Get a look at him?
Oh, he looks very Greek.
Now, he looks like a man who was going to guide us to the top.
Oh, this is... I mean, if it's not obvious already, we don't do much research for this show. But this has really caught on the hot, folks.
Maybe transfer market. We're learning this live as you are. I'm sure. Current club, Atromitos. Yeah. When did he join, though?
What's George Parashas for?
Parashas was appointed on September 25th.
5 days ago. Oh, he was sacked. Oh
wow.
My God. How do we miss this? This is the thing. There's no news on the Greek league. There was so much news in the Turkish league last year. The Greek one is radio silence over there.
Honest to God, we have to be one of the premier sources of Atromitos news right now.
Definitely. There's no one. You won't find this news anywhere else because we're the only ones going through Wikipedia 5 days after the event, giving you this news.
Wowee! So we've got a new manager to get behind, and look, we're always going to lose the first game with a new manager. He's only learning the team.
Well, let me get your opinion on the sacking of the manager. Will do you think it was too early? I mean, 3 games in, we've lost again. So what? It
does seem early because we did win the first game. And then we
drew the first game.
But that was against was it
Olympiacos, top league. Yeah.
Are our standards too high?
Well, like I say, after the fuss we made over that TV money, it was very embarrassing to be bottom of the table.
That's true. Do you think Parashas is going to be the man to guide us to glory?
From what I know about Parashas,
his Greek Football Cup win with Kastoria in 1980.
Yes.
quick quiz. How many caps do you think Parashos has for the Greece national team in his playing career? He played
6.
4.
Oh.
Oof.
When he gets debut?
Tell you now. It does not say.
Oh.
Yeah. He only played for 3 years, sure.
What age is he?
He is 69 years of age.
Fuck.
Should he not be retired?
He was retired, but he's come back for one last job to get Atromitos to the top of the Greek Super League.
Well, it's worrying that he has managed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. He's managed 28 teams.
There's only 14 teams in the Greek League. Or does he manage?
Well, he's managed us before. He managed.
Never go back.
He managed 3 different teams in 2010. 4 different teams in 2010.
4 different teams in 2010. Oh, folks. Well, look, we'll promise you we'll get the lowdown on what is this guy's name again?
Georgios Parashos.
Georgios Parashos. Of course, it's Georgios. Fucking hell. I'm shook here. I don't know if there's even a segment in that. We're going to have to cut out a few oohs and ahs there. But yeah, crazy stuff. Like I say, at the end of the day, we're bottom of the league, and Georgia Parashos has not made a great start, so he's going to have to turn that around. He's going to get me on board,
or else
very difficult.
He's going to be managing his 25th team very soon.
2014, Jesus! This guy sounds like he's great in interviews.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know? God damn. Yeah. Was there anything else then, Will? Was there any?
No, I think that was it. We covered everything there, I think.
Yeah, well, covered is a word we can use for sure.
Like lightly covered it, like paper over cracks.
Exactly, like paper over cracks.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense. But listen, I've been on that road before.
I would open an umbrella up inside my arse for this one.
Nonsense. Talking nonsense. Why should we accept somebody talking nonsense? Like, what would you say? Just why are you talking nonsense about us? Why are you talking rubbish?